Ready. All right, it says we're live, Maryanne. Let's make sure that's working. Okay, I think we're in action. Can you hear me okay?
I can hear you fine.
All right, perfect. Well, hello everyone, and welcome to our Legit Leadership series here. We are at episode 3. It's our first episode of 2021. All of you, and I am with one of my absolute favorite people in the entire world. Her name is Maryanne Adams. She is the president and CEO of Avalon Flooring. Maryanne, thank you so much for being here with us today.
You are welcome, and Happy New Year to you also.
Thank you. Yes. So we have a ton to talk about with you, Maryanne. And as we get started here, I want to just give everyone a brief overview. The Legit Leadership Live series is a chance for us to connect with executives and other powerful professionals across industries. Some of them I'm lucky enough to call my clients. Others are partners and friends of the firm. So Maryanne has been, and Avalon Flooring has been, a long-term client of mine. Maryanne, I feel like we're going on year 5 now. Is that?
Yes, it seems like I've known you forever.
Yes.
Like I said, the years go by so quickly.
The years go by so quickly, and I remember when we were at Avalon, I had the honor of being called a lifer at Avalon, so it makes me very happy.
You are that.
Yeah. Thank you. So Maryanne, as we dive in, I'd love to give everyone a bio of you, and then we're going to dive into some questions and really focus on some of the learnings that you've had being in a leadership role for so many years. And we'd love to just hear your perspective and some lessons learned and any guidance that you want to share to all of our listeners. Awesome. So one of the things I wanted to say before we start or ask you, Maryanne, what is Avalon Flooring? Can you give us a rundown of what kind of business you're at the helm of?
Certainly. So Avalon Flooring is a specialty retail flooring chain that is regional. We are located in New Jersey, Pennsylvania, and Delaware. And it was a family-owned business for many, many, many years that the owner had put into an ESOP. And approximately 2 years ago, we did the final transaction. So we are now an employee-owned company with approximately 300 employees and 17 locations. And we are number 8 in the country as far as specialty retail flooring stores.
Amazing. Thank you. And yes, and I know I've had a number of opportunities over the years to visit the beautiful showrooms and the locations, and always cutting edge on what's hot, what's cool, what's classy. So if you all want to learn a little bit more about how to do the backsplash in your kitchen or anything else, Maryanne's your lady. So feel free to reach out to her for that.
Fashion for the home.
Fashion for the home, exactly. All right, so a little bit about Maryanne. Excuse me, in addition to being the president and CEO of Avalon Flooring, she is the past chairwoman of the World Floor Covering Association and was previously on the Mohawk Industries Advisory Board. She's also a member of the Ruth, Newman, Shapiro Cancer and Heart Fund. And in addition, Maryanne has co-chaired the Richard Stockton College Scholarship Benefit Gala and the South Jersey chapter Go Red for Women event. And Avalon and its employees are big supporters of the American Heart Association, American Cancer Society, Crohn's and Colitis, and Make-A-Wish through its workplace giving program. So thank you for all that you all do in that regard as well. So awesome. So, and Maryanne, just for some context for all of you there, I've partnered on behalf of Raabia Shafi Consulting and also the previous firm I was with Avalon Flooring for several years, and really working on how do we as leaders set the tone for the workplace culture. We spend a lot of time defining the culture and the values, and and also leadership development work and executive coaching work. So we've had our fair share of some really kind of, I'm hoping, productive interactions, and to really create a place for employees to want to work. So
that is ultimately our goal. We want employees that want to work for our company.
absolutely. And Maryanne, I would love to start off with that, because I know you and I have had countless conversations on workplace culture and the importance of it, and you're truly invested in culture in every shape and form. So can you share with us a little bit about what culture means to you and why you think it's so important?
Well, I think, Raabia, when we initially had met with you in your previous company, we were looking for customer service. And the company that you were with had a very unique approach, in a sense that it really was about fixing your own culture, and that culture would radiate out through to your customers. And the approach is from the top down, from the very top down. You must be involved in the culture. We have 300 people. We had a lot of veteran employees that felt they were grandfather clause and did not need to follow the same rules as the newer employees. And it was really important that we put everybody on the same playing field, and that everybody was treated respectfully in the company. So the approach is absolutely top down, and all of management is a part of making sure that the culture stays true to what it was initially intended to be.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And what is the risk of not having that, or what have you seen to be some of the problems that might arise as a result of not being totally aligned as a leadership team?
Well, I think when you're initially working on your culture, there is a lot of perceptions out there of what people or your employees believe is happening from the top down, behind the scenes, versus what is really happening. So it is our job. We say it's either perception or it's truth. And if it's perception, we need to clarify and fix the perception. And if it's truth, we need to fix the truth.
Yeah.
And it's painful. It's painful at first when you have 300 employees, and that you're trying to make sure that everybody not only understands the direction as a company, but feels like they are a part of the growth of the company. And being an ESOP company, that's very, very important, that they feel that they are owners, that they feel that they have a voice, that they can take that voice to management. And it's very, very tough. When you're trying to fix the culture and make sure that you're having the right conversations, and all the conversations are in the right context.
Yeah. Yeah. And in that, on that note, I know the pandemic, as a retail and employee-owned organization, like millions of companies and people around the world, has obviously impacted you in a lot of ways. What are some of the biggest challenges that you are currently trying to navigate, or that you were able to navigate during the course of the pandemic to make sure Avalon continue to stay afloat and continue to thrive?
Well, that's exactly it. That you wanted to make sure that when everyone returned back to work, that there actually was a company to come back to. Mm-hmm. This is actually my second very large crisis. My first crisis was 2008 and 2009, the financial crisis, when I first took the helm of the company. And I always thought that if that type of crisis happened again, I'd be ready for it. I kept notes. I knew everything that I did. And the one thing that I realize as I get older, and I think I get a little wiser, every crisis is not the same crisis. Mm-hmm. And it affects employees differently. It affects business differently. So in 2008, where it's a financial crisis, no one was out redoing their home. They were not building homes. They weren't renovating homes. Everybody was holding on to their money and their savings. Yeah. This time around, where you have a health crisis, everyone is working from home. Everyone is staying home, and now they're looking to invest money into their homes because they want new flooring, they want new bathrooms, they want new kitchens. So they are actually investing in their homes. And where I thought we were gearing up for one scenario, we have been very, very fortunate that once we got through the first 3 to 4 months of the crisis, everyone was now out. Either it was virtually shopping, doing FaceTime, consultations with a customer,
Yeah.
or when it was safe, they would come into the showroom and make selections. But we probably were very fortunate. We were a business that people were looking to invest in their homes. So we've been very, very lucky.
Yeah.
It's about having your eyes on all areas of the business. We furloughed probably 90% of our employees. At the time, it was 350 employees. When you have to make really tough decisions for the company, they're the hardest. The people conversations and the reductions are the hardest that you have to make. You can cut programs, you can cut expense, but people, that's families' livelihoods, and they're hard decisions.
Yeah.
We made decisions. We furloughed, as I said, 90% of our employees. We were very fortunate because we were in what was called supply industry, that we were able to keep our contractor back counters open for builders and contractors, which is approximately half of our business. So we were fortunate in that sense that we still continued to conduct business, and maybe it was half of our business, but half was better than nothing at that point.
Sure. Yeah.
And then when things did clear up, then we started to bring employees back. And it was very, very important that we did several Zoom calls without all of our employees, even once we furloughed those employees, just to let them know where we were, what the situation looked like, what did the timing look like to bring them back. And we felt it was just really important to stay connected to those employees, even if they were furloughed.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure. And there's a lot of navigation and communication among your leadership team and your people. And what would you say? Because I'm very familiar with your awesome senior leadership team. I've worked with them closely over the years, along with you. What do you think are the most important characteristics to be that go-to senior leadership team? What do you look for in your colleagues?
I think in our management team, it's about having an open door policy. It's about listening to our employees and what their concerns are. It's about, if you can't answer that concern, about taking it to the right person to make sure that the conversation is happening. But it really comes down to communication and the tone of that communication, whether it's written, whether it's verbal, whether it's in a meeting. It's so important what is said and how it is said. It's the most important.
Totally. And I know that you are among several men in your organization. It's a male-dominated industry. John Millar Sr., who of course founded the company, also had a lot of male counterparts with him. So Maryanne, I want to ask the question that so many people have probably asked you along the way. How did you, as who happened to be a woman, how did you move up the ranks, and what's some advice that you would give to other up-and-coming leaders who happen to be women in very male-dominated industries?
It's interesting that you say that. Yes, we are in a male-dominated industry. However, our customer probably is predominantly female because of who is making the selections for the home. But the industry, for the most part, is male-dominated. I was very fortunate because when I started at a very young age, John Millar Sr. Was very good about hiring females and giving females an opportunity. He sought them because there was a lot of females that needed to have a career, needed to make money. Maybe they were single mothers. Maybe they just, for some reason or other, wanted to have a good living. And he seemed to know that. And we, at this point in time, half of our management is female. I think it's very important that you have a mix. You have a mix of male and female to balance out, whether it's management, whether it's the stores. It's just so important for the culture to have that balancing of people in the company. But what would I say? Yes, it's hard out there. For many years, I might have been a vice president. At one point, I was an executive VP. And yes, there were different male counterparts that came in. And I said, it took our owner a long time to realize that his best guy was a girl. But he did ultimately figure that out. I just hung in there. And the one thing that I can say was that, I never got hung up on what was my job and what wasn't my job. I was willing to jump in and learn all aspects of the company. I was in many, many different positions as I climbed the ranks. And actually, when I look at it, hindsight, it was never my intention to run this company. And that's not what I was looking for. I was just knew that as a young mother, I had to work. We were a 2-family income. I had to work. And my goal was to make as much money as I possibly could make. So that's what I set out to do, is just to make a really good salary.
Money. Yeah.
So that was my initial. But I would just say, just be open to learning everything that you can learn about the business that you want to climb the ranks in. And it does not go unnoticed, the people that stay focused on working, and you rise to the top. You absolutely do. And you have that in every company. And I always tell anyone that works here at Avalon, you can have a job or you can have a career. But it's your decision what you want to be and what you want to do. But you can't have a career being in job mode. You can't be watching the clock, running in and out. Career is career. And you set your mind to having a career and doing whatever it takes to get the job done. And they are the people that surface to the top. And that's really the backbone of our company. And it has been, as I remember John Millar Sr. would say, diamonds in the rough. And we have a lot of people that want to succeed and they want to be a part of the greater good. And they will rise to the top.
Yeah, for sure. And you started off, can you share with those of us who are listening, what position you actually started in 30-something years ago?
So I started off as the executive assistant in John Millar Sr.'s office when he was running a commercial installation business. We had done all the casinos in Atlantic City. And that's really where I started at 23 as an assistant. And at that point in time, I was very fortunate that I got to move around into different positions in the company. And I think the attitude that I would be willing to do anything that was asked of me probably is the reason why I was able to advance in the company, because I just would be willing to learn whatever was needed. I have been in purchasing and accounting, in marketing, in sales. I just jumped around the company. And I got to a point where I thought, well, like, why is he always handing me everything that's a mess or a problem? He hands to me because I fixed it. So it was almost like
you're the fixer. Yeah.
So here you go, fix it, and then I'll move on to the next thing. And there's something to be said for problem solvers, and I like to think that I surround myself with problem solvers.
Yeah.
Because, and that's my management team. It's, you come to me with a problem and an issue, but also come to me with ideas for solutions. And as I said, I'm not an expert in all areas. And I think that there's other people that are very closer to a situation. And I feel that, I want their input on what they see the fix being.
Yeah. And I want to go back to something you said about kind of being open to different ideas. And I know we were kind of prepping for this conversation before, and it's something you and I have always talked about. It's like, how do you succeed being a woman? Like, what's your one piece of advice? And I remember you said, don't cry in meetings. And which is,
I do say that half laughing when people ask me, but it is true. I think it's about staying professional.
Yes.
And whether it's at the office, whether it's at functions out of the office, whether it's trade shows, conventions, always stay professional.
Yes.
And if you hold yourself in that high regard, they will hold you in that high regard. And it's really important to stay professional. And I do also, when I mentor quite a few younger women in this company, and I always say, hold it together, do not cry. Because, it's not emotional, it's business. It's all business. It's not personal, it's business. And you cannot take it personally.
Yeah. Yeah. And it seems like such a kind of a funny thing, but it's a practical piece of advice, right? You got to work hard and play hard. So I think that's and you've probably seen that over the years too, where emotions, of course, can take over. Because one of the things I know about Avalon Flooring and your leadership team is all of you are so, and the company as a whole, so passionate about this industry and their own work streams, whether it's installation or tile or carpet. Like it's just they're true experts in their field. So I get how it can start to feel emotional for sure.
Well, that's interesting because the owner of our company, John Millar Sr., that was always his direction, was to put together a management team. It's a large company, and there's a lot of employees, and you can't be in all places at all times. So you really have to surround yourself with good people that want to be a part of the team, want to be a part of the fix, want to figure things out. We're big, but we're not big enough that we can't turn on a dime. If we are going in a wrong direction and we think we want to change course, we can do it pretty quickly. We make decisions right on the spot. We don't go through a lot of red tape. There's not a lot of decision makers in the conversation. We're all, what I like to say is, in the trenches, hands on. And we talk it through and we come at it from different aspects. And there may be several different people in the conversation that if we're making a change, that it might affect several different departments.
Mm-hmm.
But I want everybody's opinion and everybody's insight, and everybody comes with really good ideas. And I think that when you embrace new ideas and people coming to you with those ideas, they come to you with more ideas and more thoughts. And that's ultimately what you want.
Yeah. Totally. That kind of open door, like let's get the juices flowing here and figure out what we can do for sure.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And there's times that we have a great management team, and I might take, something from one person, something from another to put one big program or idea together. And we all have got to understand that, like I say, it's all for the greater good of the company and making these decisions and pulling all these pieces together. But we've got some really great people.
For sure. And, Maryanne, one of the things that I know clients that I support across different industries that they're dealing with is when you have a company, whether it's 300, 350, or 1,000, or even 50, when you have different departments, there oftentimes can be silos or maybe a disconnect or lack of communication, whatever it might be, so that not everyone's necessarily on the same page. I would love to know if you can speak to that point. Like, what advice might you have for other CEOs and presidents who are trying to make sure that there is that full kind of communication loop? How do you keep everyone not operating in a vacuum?
It's hard, and at times it can happen. But I think that it's really important to keep the lines of communication open, whether it's email. I'm a proponent on copying everybody that needs to be in the loop and one or two extra, just so that everyone is aware of a situation or a problem, or we're trying to fix something. We do meetings regularly. Yes, is it harder now because of the fact that we all can't gather in a room, and we don't? But we do quite a few Zoom calls, and we're on, whether it's department meetings, product meetings. I'll get my store managers, which is 17 stores, on. We'll talk about housekeeping items. Zoom has allowed us to stay close to each other and actually see each other. It's not just a conference call. You're able to do some more face-to-face. I think it's smart to do no more than an hour meeting. Get everybody on, get everybody off. If you're on for any length of time, people are losing interest, and you can see that.
You can see it. Yeah.
Really important to hold meetings with a set agenda. Get in, everybody say what they have to say, get out. There's no sense of having meetings just for the sake of having meetings, but you need to include the right people in the conversation. You really do. And pull more in than needed. I mean, there's times that I'll start to have a meeting and I'm like, I should have brought in purchasing, or I should have brought in accounting, and just because, and there's times I would just say, real quick, jump into this, because all of a sudden I realized that there's another person from a department that should be in the conversation.
For sure.
It's really about pulling more people into the conversation, so there's awareness that you're working on a project.
Yeah. And that's something that I've learned about you and I've seen evolve and shift with you as a leader over the years is you're definitely, if I may say, very open to ideas, very open to perspectives. And also, I don't think that you get stuck in analysis paralysis where it's so much consensus building that you just can't make a decision.
Right. Um, this is true. It really is about getting in there, having the best information that you can have, and then making a decision.
Hmm.
It's the most popular decision, but it has to be the right decision for the company. And it has
Yeah.
to be always, the company has to be first and foremost, and it has to be right for the company.
Yeah. Maryanne, that's something that I know I've heard of many of the decisions that you've had to make even before you and I met. Now I'm very familiar with the ones that you're making on a day to day or annually. How do you, and I'm asking this because I work, as you know very well, I do a lot of coaching for executives in particular. And how do you make sure that you can sleep okay at night, even when you're a minority opinion on what needs to happen?
Because I think first, it has to be the right decision for the company.
Hmm.
There are times that, as I said before, the hardest decisions to make are when they involve people.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's that's the sleepless nights. That's the
Hmm.
night where you have to make some really tough decisions. And it may be laying off people. It may be rearranging the company or who reports to who or having really, really tough conversations. That's
Yeah.
the hard part. That's the gut wrenching part that where you don't sleep at night and you take it home with you and you're thinking about it in the middle of the night.
For
They're hard
sure.
decisions. But when you're in this position, you have to make the hard decisions. And
Hmm.
there are times that I'll know that I need to fix something, whether it's a department, whether it's a situation, and I might not have the answer yet. And I'm
Hmm.
thinking and I'm gathering information, and no one should be forced to make a decision that they're not ready to make. And they
Yeah.
don't feel really good and think this, okay, I'm there, it's the right decision.
Hmm.
And sometimes I'll be thinking, and then all of a sudden I'll put all the pieces of the puzzle together and I'm there, and then I make the decision. But
Yeah.
shouldn't just hastily make decisions that affect a lot of people or
For sure.
departments or employees. So they're well thought out,
Yeah.
and I do. I have a great management team that I talk through a lot of these things because they may have a different perspective. And as
Hmm.
I said, they're big decisions and they're hard decisions and they're never made lightly. And
Yeah.
they affect people, programs, customers, but they're the right decisions for the company.
For sure, for sure. And on the note of customers, I know that obviously you're in the retail business and you work on large projects, small projects for people's homes. And what would you say is the secret to success to creating great customer experiences, or what does Avalon really like to focus on?
I think we are not a hard sell type of an environment.
Hmm.
Up to our front door, there's not an up system. However, it is a very complicated product. And as much as people may say they want to come in and browse, they really need to be guided through our products. We sell all flooring. So we're not just focused on carpet or
Hmm.
wood or tile. So
Yeah.
we really need to get in and engage in a conversation with a customer to make sure what their lifestyle looks like, whether it's pets, it's children, where they are, what stage of their life they're in. What's their budget?
Hmm.
Everyone says, oh, I don't have a budget. Everybody has a budget. I don't care how much money you make, everybody has a budget. And
Right.
you've got to like sort through all of that so that you show them the right products. We're the expert. We back what we sell, and we want
Hmm.
to make sure that we've sold the customer the right
The
products,
right thing.
whether it's
Yeah.
their home or their business. And it's got to be the right product. And I think that you're looking when you engage with this customer, you're not looking for that one sale. You're looking for that customer to come back when they're now onto the next project and the next project and refer their family members and their neighbors. That's what you're looking for is the
That's
first
what you're
visit.
looking for.
And if
Yeah.
you do it the right way and you are upfront and honest. And guess what? We run into situations. There's a lot of product on back order with the pandemic. There's a lot of things that are going on. As soon as you're right up there and you're upfront with the customer and truthful as to what's going on,
Yeah.
you know, it's not brain surgery. It's flooring. If you're upfront and honest, they appreciate that. And
They appreciate it.
you're going to do. If you say you're going to return a call, you return a call. You say you're going to get back to them, you must get back to them. And
Yeah.
that's probably the most. It's customer service. It all comes down to customer service, because customers do have a choice as to where they go.
It's so
And
true.
they
Yeah.
want experience. They want to feel important, and they want to feel that they're spending their hard-earned money, and they want to feel that they have a connection and they're being taken care of.
Yeah.
That's the bottom line.
For sure. And I know that's something we've talked about over the years. Flooring is, of course, a high consideration item. It's thousands of dollars for the most part. And then there's window treatment. This stuff costs money. So we want the customer to feel good about their decision, because they have to live with it and look at it every single day when they wake up in the morning.
It's an investment.
It's an investment.
Not only are you purchasing material, but then you're also purchasing installation. And
For
you want quality installation. So it's an investment. It's your home. And people aspire to have a beautiful home. They're not looking at, the HGTVs of the world, or, magazines, shelter magazines, or they see things online. They come in with an idea of what they're looking for, and they know they're looking for a look. And if they don't have it 100%, that's our job. As I say, home fashion, color, trends, what's selling. People don't come in and aspire to have something that was big 5 years ago. They want to know what's trending right now.
What's trending now?
And that's where we attend all major trade shows. We haven't in the last year and a half, but usually we do. And whether it's tile and marble that we go to Italy to purchase, or it's the carpet shows, or it's wood, vinyl, and laminate, you have to attend these shows. You have to keep the showroom fresh, and you have to constantly be bringing in the new trends.
Yeah, for sure. Avalon is on the cutting edge in that way. Absolutely. Yeah. So Maryanne, as we kind of close out, and I'm just so grateful for your time today. I know you're running a million miles a minute on a lot of things. One question I want to ask you is this, because I work with a lot of founders as well, and a lot of folks who have started organizations. You've been there for some time with Avalon, and then have the first leader after the founder. And I know John Millar has quite a legacy, John Millar Sr. What would you say to leaders who are taking on the role of the leader of the organization, and they're not the founders, but you still have big shoes to fill? How would you kind of give them or what kind of advice would you give them, rather, to make sure that they are able to be successful, but not also to be held to their own standard, not the standard of the past leader?
Well, I think you have to find your own voice and your own style.
Mm-hmm.
That probably was the biggest thing when our owner passed away. And I really said to myself, how am I going to manage this company?
Yeah.
I'm not him. I'm not his personality. I'm not that personality. And I thought, if I tried to imitate his personality, it would look like I was trying to be him.
Yeah.
I was never him. And as we say, he was larger than life. He had a style all his own. And I really then came to the conclusion that I had to find my own way, my own voice, and my own style.
Mm-hmm.
And it took me a little bit of time to figure that out. As I said, when I took over the helm, it was 2008. The financial crisis had just started. He passed away, but I felt that all of those things that happened were for a reason, and that was for me to pay attention to what was going on financially with the business, employees, tune into every department. I felt like that was for a reason. I feel like this situation, this pandemic, it's for a reason. It makes you grow, not only as a person, but it makes you grow as a leader. Realizing that there are a lot of things that you have to stop and figure out, but you got to stop and you got to think them through.
Yeah.
And you will come to the right decision. And I feel, that I was mentored by John Millar, who was a true old-fashioned type of businessman. That when you shook somebody's hand and you had a deal, you stuck to it. The old-fashioned way of doing business. That's how he taught me. And I have not come across anything in 13 years since his passing that I haven't been able to stop and figure out how to move forward or how to fix.
Right.
And that's the gift he gave me. He gave me a business education that I probably would never have gotten in any school. And for that, I'm so thankful. I'm very, very thankful. And that's what I try to pass along to my management team, because it's like, again, I'm only as good as the people around me, and I want them to be great.
You want them to be great.
Every advantage.
Totally. Well, I love that. And thank you so much. I'm so grateful that you made the time to chat with us today and share your learnings. And I'm sure John Millar Sr. is very, very proud of you and all that you're continuing to get done and navigating. So good on you. And for those of you who tuned in today, thank you so much for listening. Feel free to check out anytime you're interested, Avalon Flooring. And Maryanne, you're awesome. Totally one of the best people I know. And I'm so looking forward to continuing our conversation. So thank you for being here. And we'll tune in. Everyone, if you can tune in for episode 4 coming up next month. So more on that later. So thank you and have a great day.
Thank you, Raabia, and thank you for everything you do for us.
Absolutely. Thanks, Maryanne. Bye.